I think one of the most unique things about me doing this as a hobby is that I have the ability to just select unique properties that were perhaps neglected, deferred maintenance, or that weren't designed to the ultimate in the beginning. And they do all possess one thing. They have a very unique location, the ability to have unbelievable views, whether it's over water or whether it's over the mountain views as this property is, and city lights below. And then I go to work on them to try to correct the situation. And you got to be careful in how you do that, because you don't want a remodel or an addition to look like a remodel or an addition. The finished product needs to look like it was designed with the view in mind to start with. So when we got it, the first thing we started doing, we were thinking about, was what we had to do and how big a job it was going to be. Like everything else, it turns out to be a lot larger job than what you might anticipate. You'll see through the demo that we really had to take all the interior supports of the house out. We had to relocate the swimming pool. And in order to accomplish this, we had to bring in a lot of steel. There's some places you got some beams that are 99 pounds a foot, and that's a pretty hefty beam. And there was no way to bring them in with a crane because we left the roof in place. So these beams had to be dollied in, and then with rope and tackle, pull them up manually into place. And that was quite a task. I came up with a design as to how much steel, where to put it, and what to do. Of course, I've never been trained in anything, so I had to have an engineer certify the final design. And it was amusing to me, when I interviewed with him, he says, "Man, we could have saved you $25,000, $30,000. You got this thing way, way over spec." I asked him candidly, I said, "Well, what would your fee have been?" He said about $25,000, $30,000. So what he would have saved me, I would have paid him in paper. So now I got a much heftier house, so to speak. A lot of what we did, we had to cut the flooring out and go down a good 3-4 feet below the floor and concrete in steel beams and web boxes that we used to support the vertical beams. So when the house went together, it was the way I looked at building it, was not just coming steel up and across. I made it like a box, steel across the top, steel down the vertical, and steel under the floor. So in my mind, that was the way to build it so that it didn't move. The other thing that we did, where you actually see two of my guys under the foundation of the house. What we had to do was take that out section by section and beef it up. We poured concrete after we got it jacked up and the footer cut off. Then we poured a new footer up with steel. We did it section by section all the way around the perimeter of the round house. And once we were able to take all the interior out, put that clear span steel in, it became a different property. It became an ultimate view property, and that's what I was shooting for. Moving the swimming pool was another big item, and putting an infinity edge, and the yard was very, very small on that side of the house. So what we wound up doing was taking into the mountain. We just painted a paint line up on the hill, and then had the guys come at it with jackhammers and knock it out until the yard got to be the size I wanted the yard to be. The end result, I feel very, very comfortable with. Gosh, we wound up with a really large outdoor property and patios now. And then we did the same around the corner of the property. There's a little putting green that we put in, something for a little extra to kind of smooth things out and give you a feel a little different than most of the houses up here in this development that are right on the edge of the hill. I wanted to have a feeling of a little bit more land level and patio and recreational space. To that end, we also cut stairway into the hillside, if you look at behind the pool, to where we actually planted fruit trees up the hill, and we put steps to where you can go up and pick your fruit from down below, or go up the next step and pick the fruit out of that same tree from above. Some of this stuff, probably if I were doing this as a business and not as a hobby and something I love, those would have been corners I'd have probably definitely cut off. I think they were necessary and helped make the property. Another challenge that we had was to get a door system that I could open up to bring the indoors and the outdoors together. And in doing that, I didn't want the conventional bypass sliding doors. So we developed a door system that's a single panel. I worked with a company in Switzerland to be able to get that done. And it's a most unique system. The completed product is exactly what I envisioned it to be, and I think you will be impressed to see the views and what has been there all along, but now it's there visible and pronounced.